I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk to folks from the VTuber community about their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I'm extremely excited. Our very first podcast with a VTuber, and it is CorrupSin.
Hello.
Hello. Introduce yourself, please, to the folks.
Hi, my name is CorrupSin, Sin for short. I am a succubus VTuber. I mainly stream variety games, and my culture, if you will, is just bullying me all the time, constantly, and it's great, and I love every second of it.
Well, you definitely have I've watched several of because folks got to know. Sin was the first person who responded when I
Mhm.
started asking for people to whether they even wanted to come on the interview show or not, and she's like, "Sure, what the heck?" And I said, "Oh, well, no matter what, you're number one for me, so I appreciate that." Um,
Always,
yes.
always.
Oh, but the I've noticed that you in your streams you always have collabs with folks that
Yes.
seem to. I don't think I've ever seen you on your own. Is this something you've really wanted to do at the streams?
Yes. So, I've always wanted to do some solo content. I typically do better in collabs because I'm also a major extrovert.
Mhm.
So I
I've
typically
noticed
have
that.
people
Yes.
on because I enjoy having those types of conversations with people. But I am wanting to break into some solo content because there are a bunch of games that I've been wanting to try that are not multiplayer, but there are single player. So I want to get into that more.
Yeah, it does kind of limit you a little bit, I guess, when it comes
Hmm.
to that. But and also kind of puts you at the beck and call of whether anybody else is available or not. Uh, yeah. Well, I really
Yeah.
wanted to do this game, but there's nobody available, so Stardew Valley for me, or something like that. But
Mhm.
when did you decide to get started in doing some VTubing?
So I actually started like end of September of 2023. I've already had CorrupSin. I tried a little bit before, but I did never really like pushed for affiliate or anything. But I really started to try like end of September of 2023 and early October. My actually one of the friends who got me into it was Mr. Tallywhacken 101.
Yeah.
He's a really good friend of mine, and just seeing how fun it is to like play games on streams and everything, and like hang out with people and hang out with the viewers is it seemed like fun. I said, why not give it a try?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one thing I've really enjoyed in watching folks who are doing this is that you get to meet people all around the world. You get to meet
Hmm.
people who next door you didn't know, but it allows a chance for you to expand your horizons a lot more than you would have otherwise.
Yeah,
And
it
that,
really does. It
yeah,
really does.
and we talked a little bit before coming on about some of your background, and you said that you've been very open about some things about your background, and I'll let you explain it, but
Mm.
I see a lot of folks who are able to kind of lean on VTubing to help their own, um, say, mental health issues. Do you find this
Yes,
to be the case for you?
I find it to be kind of the case, but not. It's more along the lines of I do it to help others and myself.
Oh.
Personally, I'm currently diagnosed with ADHD,
Mhm.
bipolar type 2, um, PTSD, and general anxiety disorder. So I am diagnosed with some heavy stuff,
Yeah.
and there are days where I don't want to do anything. Like there are days that I am literally paralyzed in my bed,
Right.
and on those days, I remind myself that I have this whole online community who is willing to support me, and I can just go watch someone else's stream instead. I don't have to be an entertainer. So during those days, it made me realize there are people like me who can't entertain and like just want to watch someone else entertain them, and that's the type of environment I create during my streams. I want you to be able to come to my stream and just sit down and let the weight of the world kind of trickle off your shoulders. I want to create a fun, happy environment for those people because the world isn't the kindest place, and I for one definitely have realized that throughout my years.
And you haven't had nearly the number of years I've had, so I tell you,
Mm.
it doesn't always get better. But the fact that a lot of folks who have situations, who have had circumstances in their lives, are able to express themselves and help other people through this medium, I think is just fascinating. Look at it from a complete outsider point of view, and
Mhm.
I know that a lot of people who are involved in the community are very much involved in the types of things you're talking about.
Mm. Yeah,
Well, I think,
because it's almost like a form of coping mechanism, if you will.
yeah.
Um, Being able to just it's like it's just basically a distraction. It's a distraction from the world, so that way you can just spend 4 hours or however long you can commit to someone and just relax.
Or
It's like reading a book for some people, and it's really nice.
or 24 hours like you did at the start of the year. Have you recovered from that
Yeah.
yet? Have you recovered from the 24 hours yet?
I have. It took me a little bit. It took me a little bit. That 24-hour stream was very intense. A lot of people are wanting me to make it a yearly thing. I don't think that's gonna happen, Eric. I really don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I
You've learned your
it
lesson, and
I,
you're not. That's not going to happen again. You've learned your lesson, and you move on from there.
I
But
have learned my lesson. It was a bit too ambitious for me, if I do say so myself. I Someone said I couldn't do it, and I said, "Okay, watch me," and I did it. I did a 24-hour stream, which is
yeah.
insane.
Well, it did get the visibility out there a little bit, and I know that
Mm.
for folks who don't have the biggest of audiences yet, marketing is something that they kind of learn along the way.
Yes.
In my years in radio, marketing was always something you had, but for folks who are
Mm.
just getting started, now you kind of learn, well, what is my audience into? What is the audience I'm looking for? Do they really want to see me do this? Do I really want to do this if I don't like it? That's the sort of decisions I guess you have to make on your own.
Yes. So looping back to when you said that I have never really done solo content, what I've learned going to marketing, it's easier to market yourself with a group of friends.
Mhm.
Especially when you look at, like, for example, a lot of my friends at the beginning had like more followers than I did. So aligning myself with them allowed me to grow and learn things and discover, okay, I want to be this type of VTuber. I want to do this type of things. And I know now, after 5 months of doing this, is I prefer collabs that are um, 4 people or less. I like bigger collabs, but it's just easier for my brain mentally to
Yeah,
do 4 people or less, and it's easier to market. Like it's easier to just be like a pocket. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's definitely going into the marketing of who you hang out with, and if you are hanging out with people, the same people over and over again, then you can't really market yourself that well. If I do
Yeah,
say
and
so,
it's also networking. I mean,
yes.
you get this person could lead to this person, and then you're really opening up your possibilities.
I have my core friends that I typically stream with, and I always try to stream with once a week, and those are Tally, Angel Wolf, and Cthulhu Tilly. Those are typically the people I try to stream with every single week.
Yeah,
But I also try to stream with other people. Like, so for today example, I was streaming with Officer Ungrateful and Miss Selly, and those are also some amazing, wonderful people. So it's really, really fun just to network as well. I generally really enjoy it a lot.
well, you said you're an extrovert, so that kind of plays right into it, doesn't it? Mm.
Yeah, I am an extrovert, and it's funny because a lot of my friends, a lot of people I've met doing this, they're all introverts majority of the time. I don't think I've met another extrovert doing this.
Yeah, it's true. I do tend to see that people will be on every social network, yet call themselves introverts because they
Yes.
don't want to see people face to face. But in reality, and we saw this in radio back in the day, you're talking to a potential audience of more people than you could ever see in your lifetime. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that could be watching you and listening to you right now.
Yeah. It's insane. It's totally mind-boggling the type of medium that we have discovered and created. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's more to do. I mean, there's more areas to get into. And what do you want to do? Are there any things that you want to expand into besides doing more solo types of things? Or any other types of channel? Um, any other things you want to do with your channel besides that?
I eventually, I really eventually, I want to be more of a platform and advocate for mental health
Mm.
because that is a big part of my life. That is, I have spent so many hours in therapy and collecting knowledge of mental health and how to cope and how to engage and interact with people. And I want to be able to provide a platform for that. I want to be able to be that person for someone. One of my always it's always has been one of my core characteristic traits. I want to be the person that you can lean on in a time of need. Like that is who I want to be, and I want to be that person for someone. I really do, and eventually, I mean, this would be amazing. Like I'm talking like very distant future. It'd be really cool to do a collab with a company that has the same core beliefs and values because it I feel like the stigma around mental health, especially around mental health in masculine personalities, it's not as common to talk about, and it's that's terrible. Like if you look at our world when it comes from a feminine personality and a masculine personality, it's really really easy for other women and other women personalities to support those type of characteristics because that's the culture that we were raised in. But if you look at masculine personalities, it's very hard for them to open and talk about. I mean, the other day, I think it was today, or someone mentioned the fact that they couldn't cry because that's how they were raised. They couldn't cry, and they couldn't because they were male dominated. They couldn't cry and they couldn't release emotion, and that's not something we as a society should do. And I really wish there was an outlook or platform for more masculine personalities to have that outlook. Because if you look at a bunch of books, it's all typically female or feminine leaning, and there's the stereotype for men is not good when it comes to mental health, and
No,
that's something I would love to change.
no,
So,
you're exactly right. I mean, I've been in therapy a few times in my own life,
mm,
and you know, when you're suddenly out of work at age 43 and there isn't any job for you,
yeah,
that can happen in a hurry, among other things. And when you say masculine, that tends to not fall into the same category. I mean, the masculine people don't need to rely on other people to help them
yes,
through the problem. That's very ingrained in society, as you said.
yes, yes,
Yeah, it's very tough, and and what what kind of grinds me a little bit about that is when I go to see, I've gone to see things that people in the past. The majority of people in the waiting room are men.
mm,
I'm like, but you can't tell anybody about this because here you are, and everybody's like, don't tell anybody I'm here. Well, you know, you're not helping anybody else beside yourself here. Uh, I never gone for the don't cry thing myself, but you know it's really tough to take that amount of history and change it overnight. But
yeah.
if you can take a couple of shovels full out of that BS, good on you. I'll
I would
support
have
you all the
loved to do
way.
that,
It's
but
really
yeah,
it's a tough thing to do. Um,
it,
yeah, it really is. The Yeah, I know that you've been working on getting a new model set up, and I've seen a little
yes.
bit of it. For folks who don't know about how this works, it's not just something that you wake up one day and say, "Hey, I'm going to go get a new model." and there's got to be some process in doing that, isn't there?
There is. So there are two types of models. There is a 3D model, which is the one I currently have, and a live 2D model. The live 2D model I think it's a personal preference based on what you get, but the live 2D model is the one that I want, and that one costs significantly more money because typically you can go into a application and really easily create a 3D model, and that's what I did with my current one. But I want a live 2D model because they look a lot smoother. They're generally, in my opinion, more clean looking, and I really, really want one. And also, it goes into your character design as well. Because with the application that I'm using to create the free 3D model, there are limitations, unfortunately. But with the live 2D model, there's not as many limitations. In fact, it's more open to certain aspects, and that's what I'm wanting. Because I'm wanting, it's more of a succubus look. So my original names, for those who don't know, was Sin the Siren, and I rebranded to CorrupSin because it just fit me more. It fit me a lot better than a siren did, and it
Just
just it
just watch one of her
and just being
streams, and you'll find that out.
yeah. I mean, couldn't really figure that out until I started streaming and figure out what fit my brand more. So
Yeah. A lot of things that you've been streaming are I've noticed are the shooter games. Fortnite. I saw
mhm.
you tonight. Um, I saw you with the what is that new game?
The finals,
The
yeah.
finals. Yeah. What do you think of that one?
I like it a lot. It's I want to get more into shooters more because one of the very first games got me really heavily into gaming is Rainbow Six Siege. I always enjoy playing shooters, but I typically play shooters with Selly as well. The finals, it's a love hate game.
Yeah.
I love it because I love the go go feature
Right.
basically of it. With Fortnite, it's kind of a sore topic for me, so I'll play Fortnite, but it is kind of a sore topic for me when it comes to playing Fortnite because my dad plays Fortnite and I don't really like interacting with my dad a whole lot.
No.
So, oh, it's
It's
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's in situations like that. It's terrible when you just kind of run
Mhm.
across something like that. But the today's 20 25 year olds are running into the fact that their 50 some year old parents, uncles are still gamers,
Yeah,
and they're on
yeah.
there shooting at you from a distance and thinking that they can actually do it when they really don't have the reflexes like me. I have no reflexes to do this sort of thing, but yeah, and I've had to teach my grandson a few things every once in a while on a few games. He gets on Minecraft and that type of stuff. The only thing I know about Minecraft is how to kick animals to death. I think that's the only thing I can do at this point. What for folks who want to watch one of your streams and get in touch with the group that you've got on Discord? What are
Mhm.
the links to get to that Discord right now?
So if you look at my link tree, so if you go to my link tree slash, I need to change it. It's link tree slash corrupt sin. I actually need to change it in my Discord bio now that I think about it. That is typically how you find all of my socials. I am most active in my Discord server, and I am most active on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. That is where I'm typically most active. And if you want to get in touch with me, typically go through my Discord server. Or, as always, just go to my Twitch when I'm streaming and I'll always talk to you in chat. And we
Yeah.
can talk about anything you'd like because I love talking to people.
Well, I tell you, folks, if you want to be entertained, check out one of CorrupSin's streams, and there will be no shortage of bloodletting, either
uh,
on the screen or in the banter.
yes,
That,
yes.
that is for sure. I really appreciate it, Sin, coming on and helping us get this underway. I hope we can talk again once you get that new model going and
Mhm.
get things settled and it really is a major thing for me personally and really for my mental health too to get this going after so many years out of the out of the business.
Yeah.
I like talking to people too, and I really appreciate you're doing this for us. That's you're always going to be number one in
Yeah.
my book, kid.
I appreciate Eric. I really, really do.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.